The Hawaiian winter nears its peak as the WSL Championship Tour returns to Oahu's North Shore to begin a new season. Along the 7 Mile Miracle, one wave stands above all others.
We are at Ehukai Beach Park, home of the wave known as Pipeline.
It is the scariest wave in the world.
You have to have quite a bit of respect for the pipeline. And if you don't, sometimes that wave's going to slap you down hard.
There he is, look at that back door, Kane. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, what a day.
Throughout history, pipe champions have given us iconic performances.
This is like everything I ever dreamed of.
Pipelines for the girls.
As surfing's elite prepare for a new year, their first challenge could be the toughest.
Yeah.
Absolutely charging.
It's a new era on the championship tour.
It honestly is bringing tears to my eyes. This is history being made right now.
Looking for the exit.
Who will be crowned at this year's Lexus Pipe Pro Presented by YETI?
Pipeline's super scary, but the wave of your life is out there.
Aloha kakayaka, good morning to you. We're coming to you live from the Bonsai Pipeline, the opening day of the season, the World Surf League Championship Tour for 2025. And stop number 1, the Lexus Pipe Pro, presented by YETI. Great to have your company. Joe Turpel, Felicity Palmatier, and Ross Williams. Starting with you, Ross, local boy, pipe finalist in the past. But first off, congrats on another incredible year of coaching, last year to a world title with John Florence. I read your message that you're going to change things up this season, but I know that you're still so in love with this sport. And what are you looking forward to?
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'm going to spend more time at home. It's a commitment. You're either going to go on the road with your surfers that you coach for every event, or kind of not. So staying home with my little girls a little more often this year, but I'll be coaching Luke and Finn and Tama and some others here at home on the North Shore, and keeping in touch with the boys and girls on tour as well. But yeah, it was a good year last year, so we'll end it there for a little while.
Oh,
see
stoked.
how we do.
So lucky to be sitting next to you for this event. Flick, gosh, so proud of you. Charging in the YETI, that was sensational. And now to kick off the year at Pipeline, what's exciting coming into the first stop of the season for you?
Oh, look, I'm always excited to be back in Hawaii. And like you said, it's already been an active winter. We've seen a lot of swell pushing through in December. There's the YETI Akau Ram. We had specialty events at Pipe. And I just love this event on tour because it's a wave of consequence. There's a lot that you have to put on the line. And it's you've got to go all in. And I love those kind of events. It brings the best out of people.
Yeah, it definitely does. And then with a lot of new faces, coming on the tour as well, there's so much to think about. And then the tour changing drastically as well, now moving to 7 stops before a cut. Ross, that's going to really change the field this year.
Yeah, so a little more breathing room, right? 2 extra events before they hack the field in half. So that's good. It's definitely a test of nerves. Everyone feels like they got to jump on it quick. So another 2 events to kind of feel your way in for the rookies for sure.
Well, all it starts here at Pipeline, a wave with a ton of history from the pipe event starting back in the early 70s. And it's always a favorite to watch. Kicking off here at stop number 1 on the island of Oahu. Drive from the town side, you land in Honolulu, about an hour drive to get to the North Shore. You see that open space behind Pipeline, that's an elementary school. Guys like John, Barron, all went to school there, dreaming of surfing pipe right after school. But you can see how the reef was formed, the Pakulena Gulch, a lot of fresh water, carved out the Ehukai Channel, which created the left of pipe, and also a good spot to paddle out, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a beautiful sandbar there, fresh water, kind of strips away the reef, and you get these channels. And look at that step off right there, Flick. What does that do for pipe?
Oh, look, I mean, anytime you've got that steep step off relatively close to the coastline, it's just going to intensify all that power. It's going to amplify it on the reef, and that's what you see. I mean, maximum power, maximum energy. And yeah, you've obviously got those third reef, the second reef, the first reef, good indicators to, you know, how big the swell is and when sets are coming as well.
Joe's favorite reef, third reef.
Oh my goodness gracious. When you see the third reef starting to cap,
You're
or
out
if
there.
it's rolling through all the reefs, serious business. That's when I go home and hide. Yeah, definitely. No, pretty cool to see this whole venue from the sky. But let's make the first official call of the season as we say good morning to AJ McCord with Commissioner Jessie Miley-Dyer.
Thanks so much, Joey. Jesse, exciting to be back here with you to kick off 2025, day one of our window here. Give us the official call.
Yeah, we're officially off. It's definitely the first day of school, but it's nice to be here and nice to see everybody. We're going to be off for today. We're also going to be off for tomorrow. You know, you can kind of see behind us and around the corner actually that it's pretty windy and you know it's not the nicest day, and we know that we're going to get something better in the window.
So that was what I was going to ask next, is when you look down the road throughout the window, what are you keeping an eye on?
I think the first day that we're really looking hard at is going to be Wednesday. You know, there's definitely going to be spots in here, and the forecast is changing a lot. You know, one of the things that we love and is the trickiest, especially when you know that this wave is so good. So Wednesday's that first spot. I know that someone like Ross will definitely have some insights for us as well. So we're going to cross fingers and, you know, see that we get something.
And Joe was just talking about this 2025 season as a whole, a lot of changes to the schedule. What has you most excited?
You know, I think having those extra stops on tour before the cart's going to be great. I'm really excited to see this rookie class. There's so many, you know, crazy talents up, and we always say that this is, you know, the best tour that we've ever had, and every year it feels like it is, you know. So, you know, we've got some really talented rookies, and seen a couple of them on site this morning, and it's going to be great to see how they go, and you know, everyone's cheering for everyone.
Cannot wait to get things started, but a few days at least before we get underway, Joe.
Thanks so much, AJ, and thank you, Jessie Miley-Dyer. So off today, off tomorrow. Hopefully things will clean up on Wednesday. A lot of news to catch up on, though. A lot of new faces and a lot of people withdrawing from the season as far as John Florence is concerned. Winning a world title last year, he's going to take a break, but that creates the rookie spot for Al Cleland Jr. Gilmore continues to take her break from last year, and we'll see Lulu back on tour. Medina hurt himself preparing for this season. A pectoral injury. He's already had surgery, said it went well, on the road to recovery. Gentile getting the call up to compete once again, at least in the first 3 events of the season, as the first injury replacement wild card. We'll also see Eli Hanneman, a rookie from last year, get a wild card call up for Pipe. We'll get to see Basque Country representation with Nadia Arostarbe in the mix. We're also going to miss out on the French veteran Joanne Defay, missing out on the first event of the season. We hope we see her back at stop number 2. And we also have that unfortunate news. Crosby hurt himself at Pipe preparing. He's hoping to get back as soon as he can. And then the heavy wild card names, Moana Jones-Wong is back. And the biggest name in surfing, Kelly Slater. And also not missing John for too long because he accepted his wild card to compete at his home break.
Oh, you look at those wild cards and you think, holy, I don't think it gets any better, right? They're the 3 absolute goats out here. And anytime we get to see Kelly put a jersey on, I think we've got to be pretty grateful, because who knows how much longer he might be still getting to do that.
Oh, it's such a good point. Kelly Slater won a 56 CT event here in 2022. Can he make it 9 pipe titles? GOAT is back. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Pipeline. Stop number 1, the Lexus Pipe Pro, presented by YETI, called off for today and tomorrow. And there's nobody surfing right now. It's shredding. It's a pretty wet morning, a lot of wind, but a lot of waves out there. I'm surprised you're not out there right now, Ross.
Well, you had kind of the comment of the morning, which was you're a little bit worried about the commitment of the tour this year. There's no one out there. There is air wind. I could see Italo doing some backflips. Where is everybody?
Where is everybody? Yeah, it's shredded. Everyone's resting up for game day. Speaking of game day, we can't wait to see Kelly back in the jersey again. It's been kind of emotional the last couple of years because we're guessing what's going to happen. Will we ever see him again? We're loving that he's getting a chance at Pipe to go for a 9th Pipe title, break his own record, looking for a 57th career CT win. I cannot wait.
Yeah, what we saw go down, in 2022 was nothing short of incredible. I mean, just a few days shy of his 50th birthday. Not only an inspiration to the surfing world, but just the world in general, to what is possible, to pushing the barriers at that kind of age. I mean, like we were saying, Ross, it's not easy to surf pipe. It's technical.
Yeah.
It's you've got to be on. You've got to be fast. It's hard work. So it's nothing short of incredible.
I mean, what makes Kelly's career so incredible is, you know, especially if you look at late 80s, 90s, which his career spanned through, there was this big separation between guys that shredded in events like in beach breaks and guys that were specialists at pipeline. And Kelly was sort of ahead of the curve of someone who blended both those worlds together. Now with the Johns and the Barrons and all that, that's expected. You have to be good at everything. But Kelly was at the forefront of that.
And the CT by the numbers speak for themselves. Kelly dominating that victory in 2022. He called it the best, most important win of his career. And he's had 56, you know, going with those 11 world titles. And he was almost 50, 5 days shy of being 50 years of age. His greatness continues to impress us. And I'd almost think having that uncomfortable loss as a wild card at Cloudbreak last season could spark a little bit of fire in the GOAT if he needs any coming into this event.
I still believe he's probably one of the most competitive guys in that draw. There's no doubt about it. If he's in that, he wants to win. And I mean, Ross, you were just saying, I mean, he's adaptable. He's one of those first guys that was kind of doing that and bridging that gap between, you know, turns and barrels and being adaptable out here. And if you look at the forecast coming up, I mean, it is going to be tricky. Yeah. So I don't doubt that hunger.
Yeah, good point. And one guy that Kelly got past that was a turning point to that win was Barron Mamiya. It was like seconds on the clock. Kelly came from behind and stole it off Barron, but Kelly said, hey, the next guy out here will be Mamiya, and we got to see that in real time last season, Ross.
Yeah, Barron, just a legit North Shore boy. You know, he was raised right here on this reef and basically grew up pulling into closeouts. And you can see that it's part of his strength. You know, surfing well at pipe, you have to be really comfortable taking off steep and deep and super late. And Barron is, you know, he is one of the very, very best. But you combine that with, he's also gotten so much better in the last couple of years at competing. And sure, you know, pipe, there's a lot of glory, there's a lot of big barrels, but you got to find those grindy backup scores. And Barron's really good at that as well. So you can see he got the victory last year.
Truly unstoppable for Barron Mamiya as we look at the CT by the numbers. He had a 10-point ride against one of his heroes, John Florence, in the final. You couldn't have scripted it better for Barron. And one thing he told me just the other day was like, he was like actually so relieved to get this victory early. It's a small community here. He's going to hear all the time that he's a favorite to win. He's already got one. That's a relief. Now he's actually coming in with a ton of confidence coming into as the defending event champion. Once again, time to get competitive, you guys. Fantasy Surfer, you could set up your teams now. Tier A, Tier B, Tier C, and you also get to pick a Power Surfer, which is worth double points. Ross, any tips?
Well, the forecast is all over the map, so all I can say is good luck. Pick Felipe, pick John, pick everybody.
You're so competitive, you're not going to say anything.
You just gotta, you have to spread it out. It could look like Snapper, it could look like Pipeline. You gotta really kind of even all those skills out there.
Totally fair. Great advice. We'll give you more details on that Surfline forecast later on Dom Patrol. Be right back.
This is kind of the day, I reckon, where the next generation is going to be like, yeah, this is our tour now.
Caity Simmers at back door. Ho ho! Simmering, boiling on the stove and coming out. Wow.
I was terrified out there, but I'm glad I got some.
Here goes Betty Lou.
Dropping in, pipeline barrel, pulls in, under the hook, spat out.
Molly putting her head down, grabs the rail of the pipeline, pulls up and under. She's still going and gets the exit.
Best day the win was ever came up. 100% crazy.
That was a sneak peek of Pipe Dreams. You can watch it all on worldsurfleague.com. Remembering an event we will never forget. Last season, seeing Caity Simmers, Molly Picklum in the final where everything completely changed. Can't wait to see them back in the water again as they try to repeat another run at the final here at Pipeline. Joe Turpel with Flick and also Ross Williams here at Dom Patrol. As you can tell, the wind's crazy. No one's even surfing, off for the next couple of days. But focusing on the women's draw now of who to watch. Yeah, is it too early to say Erin Brooks being a favorite maybe for the event and a world title flick?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of been the question on everyone's lips. People are talking about it, but you look at, she's a prodigy. I mean, we've seen her coming from a mile away, but then we finally got to see her, you know, CT event as a wild card in Fiji. Her rail control, the transition between turns, her speed. She's surfing at a different speed, and you know, when it got a bit bigger too, her ability in the barrel is second to none. It's undeniable. She's got so many different skills, from the double arm drag to the, you know, positioning up and down the board. I can't wait to see what she does here. I mean, obviously we've got a tricky forecast, but her backhand is great as well. You know, it's just potential world champ this year. Will she be like Stephanie Gilmer in her rookie year? We'll see.
Yeah, we've only seen that once. That was with Steph in 07. Erin's got that behind her. We'll see if that's going to help her cause this year or put some pressure on herself. We'll find out soon. Local wildcard stories are always big at Pipeline, and we've got the biggest one with the Queen of Pipeline back as a wildcard, Moana Jones-Longros.
And you can see from this clip right here, this is her bread and butter. Moana's got this lineup down as good as anyone out here. Obviously, she has the advantage of surfing out here all year long, so she's very, very comfortable. That being said, the forecast is really tricky for Moana. You know, there's a really good chance that she'll be surfing around, at least one round out here, in head-high rights, and that's when all the little whippersnappers are going to be blowing tail and maybe even doing aerials. So this is going to test those wild cards. In the years past, you know, there was this crazy advantage at Pipeline for wild cards, but like we were talking earlier, you know, all the tour surfers are expected to surf well at Pipe and Huntington, so it'll be a good test for Moana.
Well, one surfer that's similar to Moana and Erin Brooks, and she's had a win as a wild card, but now a full-fledged rookie, is Tahiti's Vahine Fierro in the mix, making her rookie debut. We saw her brilliance from last season at her home break, and she had put so much focus and prep work into Teahupo because of the Olympics and also because of the championship tour. Totally took over her local lineup, got past Tati, even though Tati had the 10. That's one of my favorite heats of all time. But she is so ready. You know, when you think about having no weaknesses, like, she's been on the grind. She, you know, finaled in Bolito in 1-foot surf. Yeah. You know, she's got a lot more range than you might expect from someone who's maybe a tube specialist, where I think Vahine will be able to adapt no matter what the forecast looks like.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one of her strongest positions out there, you know, is her backhand. It's deadly. It's so sharp, and that's what got her to the CT basically. You know, a lot of right hand waves on the Challenger Series. So yeah, this forecast, I think she'll be all right.
Lots to look forward to on the show. Two guys that gave themselves the nickname Salt and Pepper. You know these goofy footers. Kaipo and Strider going to talk pipe forecast coming up next.
Welcome back to the Dawn Patrol for the Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI. Kaipo Guerrero. Oh, with Barron Mamiya, he's going to be quiet this morning, but more talkative. We got Strider Wazalewski with me.
We're ready. We're ready to break down the Surfline forecast and let you guys know what's out there on the horizon.
Strider, I feel this forecast, we're talking like a riddle we're going to have to solve. It's a puzzle as we piece everything together, but things are looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of a toss-up.
Well, let's take a look at the forecast chart. Talk us through these swell trains that we see here on the animation.
Well, we've got some interesting backflow happening. So all this north swell kind of pushing down over the top. You can see where pipeline. Wednesday looks okay for the offshore winds. Better surf possible through February 1st and 2nd, but I think especially the 3rd through the 5th is what we're really looking at for the best days. I think we're gonna have to squeeze a day in there before, but we're gonna look pretty good down the line.
Yeah, we talked about all the different personalities that this wave can have, depending whether it's a north swell, a north-northwest swell, or a west swell. I think we're gonna see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think Ross Williams said it best. Spread out your lineup because you've got so many different swells happening out there. You got a bunch of sand on the reef. We could see perfect right barrels. We could see backdoor. We could see pipeline. It's all up to Mother Nature at this point.
And we've literally seen, Strider, the beach change every single day. The sand flow is incredible.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's kind of to our advantage here. As soon as it whips around, the swell direction does what it needs to do. We're going to see something clean up, and it's going to get much better out there. So that's what we're waiting for, is the west swells to kick in. Hopefully that happens around the 3rd.
Yeah, Joe, I think we're going to be waiting for a little bit, but things are looking good at the end of this event window.
I like that optimism as well. It's like you got to just take it day by day, and we'll see how the patience goes for especially some of these rookies that are trying to adjust to a waiting period. You know, they've never been through this, Strider, where they're prepared, but they've got to now hurry up and wait, so to speak, and be ready on game day.
Yeah, I'm ready for Jackson Hawaiian Punch Bunch to come out. I think that he's going to look really good. You know what? He's got a mad air game. He's got backside, front side. And you know what? We saw him at Pipeline pulling in as a wild card. He got the call up, and it was insane.
And Viva Mexico, we're going to see Al Cleland Jr. coming in as a rookie as well. So another flag on the WSL.
I can't wait. He's the people's champ.
That's right.
100%. Yeah, Kaipo. Yeah, Strider. So good to see you guys. Missed you big time in the off season.
The Lion, we love you.
Love you guys.
I love that you gave yourself that name.
That's a true story. More on that for another time. Hope you guys enjoyed Dawn Patrol. We severely missed you in the off season. We're going to have a couple of days off. We'll be back here on Wednesday morning, 7:45 local time for the call. Head of the Lexus Pipe Pro presented by YETI. Get your fantasy team set, and we will see you then.